to Motorsport, use your channel. In today's video, we're going to be doing a review, a little recap, reaction, you might say, of the F3 race in 2025 Spanish Grand Prix, the feature race, the main one. Let's get into it. So first off, Kamara got off well, but Solov didn't. He dropped back to like 8th in the grid. A rough start, kind of further extending Kamara's shot at the title. Ramos had suspension damage and dropped from 5th and to retiring ultimately after going hard over a curb. Unlucky, I think he got 2nd in the sprint race yesterday, so he'll be feeling a bit bummed out, but let's carry on his form of either getting a podium or doing bad in a race weekend. So he's either very hit or miss. Belinsky also had a very bad getaway and dropped to the back of the grid after starting in the points. I think he ended up retiring after him and Garfias had a crash, which also caused a safety car. So it's a bit unlucky. It's like, I think Garfias was blaming Belinsky. They didn't actually show the incident, so we didn't actually know what happened. But Garfias also had, I think it was a Marin and Angeli incident yesterday in the sprint race. I think he just hit him out of the blue. So it's a very interesting one for Garfias, who's coming for the race weekend, and I don't think we'll stay around just because of he's here for an injury. Marin Angeli, though, we just talked about before, he got a stop-and-go penalty for a start infringement. Boyer also got a 10-second penalty for leaving the track and getting an advantage. I think this is something that we'll see more often, with like on the first corner, there's an escape road, and you have to go around Bollard. But I think the uncertainty comes around if you take the escape road, you go around it properly. Do you keep whatever places you gain? Because it seems like that escape road is not actually that much slower than the normal track, so they might just keep it, but they shouldn't, obviously. They should give it back. But I think there's a little bit of uncertainty around the drivers around what they should do. But hopefully now the precedent's been set, and it's not the same sort of stuff in the F1 race. Gusty and Stenshorn, though, had great starts with 3-point scorers dropping out of the top 10, which meant that everyone else below them got promoted up, including Gusty and Stenshorn. I think Stenshorn ended up around 5th at one point, actually even to 4th. I think he overtook someone into 4th, which is nice. But then Toponin, who was in 5th, got an issue. I'm not sure what the issue was. They didn't show it either. Bit of a weird racing camera dynamic today. But yeah, he dropped to the back of the grid, then kept going though. I think he went back after racing speed. So another weird one. Maybe he lost something in the engine. Maybe there's something weird on the old dashboard. I'm not sure. Stenshorn, though, after he kind of pushed a bit too hard, got to 4th, his pace just kind of started dropping back, and Gusty managed to overtake him. Gusty is one of the most underrated drivers, I think, this season, having a very quietly brilliant season. So one to keep an eye on for the rest of the year. But either way, that meant that a big gap formed between Kamara, Van Hoopen, Theo Fernal, and the rest of the grid. So the podium up here, then like a 2-3 second gap than everyone else, which is quite uncommon in F3, but it's usually quite a DRS train through the whole field. Eza Fuzabek, though, looked after his tyres well and managed to come back from I think it was the mid-teens up to 11th, after the old safety car finish, which is very good work for him, keeping those tyres in the right window, turning them on, and getting past some good drivers making some moves. However, though, he came up to his teammate Boyer, did a very similar thing, going off the track, taking the place, and not giving it back to Boyer, who had that 10-second grid penalty. Boyer was in 10th, so Entepuzet could have just kept his distance, stayed in 11th, defended well, and got a point. But he didn't do that. He didn't get the decision back, so he got a penalty, and also eventually got overtaken by Wharton in the final lap, which has meant that both of the Camposes didn't score points, whereas Wharton in their team managed to score that last point. But we had a before that though, we had a Lando and Brandon Badua crash with Lacorta hitting the back of Badua, the McLaren driver. And quite an interesting one. I think Lacorta's now up to, I think he was on 11 penalty points, but he got a 10-second penalty for the collision, 10-second penalty for a safety car infringement, and another one for and it got another 10-second penalty. So there's no way in hell this guy's not getting a race ban for next weekend because he's got too many racing license points and therefore has earned that ban. So yeah, they're on the restart now, and Van Hoopen managed to swap places. So now finishing second, and Van Hoopen third. Solov managed to work his way up to I think it was like fourth. So it was very solid from Solov. But after that really bad getaway at the start. But yeah, and then in the last lap, Gusti managed to overtake Van Hoopen into the first corner, which meant that Gusti earned that podium spot alongside now and Kamara. Kamara wins the race, obviously. I think it's like 3, maybe 4 out of like 5 or 6 feature races that he's won, and started on pole. It's just like he just looks unstoppable, and it seems like we're already halfway into the season. It seems like game over, you know. It's like unless he has the biggest fall off we've ever seen in F3, he's having an unparalleled season. And to draws comparison to the Oscar Piastri season we saw a few years ago, you know, like a rookie coming in and just dominating, man, like non-stop dominating. Maybe we should do a little comparison against Kamara and Piastri, because I know Piastri had like an outstanding season, like winning race after race after race. So we might see that coming in the future. Let me know down in the comments. Either way, Kamara first, nail. Very good weekend for him in the VAR team. Them getting 3 out of 6 podiums in the race weekend. Solid, good stuff from that team. I think celebrating their 50th year anniversary. So, well done VAR. Anyway, thank you for watching. Let me know down in the comments below if you liked this video. Peace.